So I always wondered if we can recycle the Grodan. I mean, a homeowner or a small-scale grower, you pay $12 for a sheet and you don't use it. It's a shame to throw it away. Of maybe a large-scale commercial grower, they pay less because they buy by bulk. But I always thought, can I recycle the Grodan, the rock wool? So what I have here is a used Grodan that had spinach. I cleaned it as much as possible, removed as many of the roots as possible, and the dead leaves. Some of the seeds are still stuck. And here's a new sheet. So what we did is I soaked it in water like you see here, dumped it, soaked it again, dumped it, soaked it 3 times. And each time I measured pH and EC of these two and comparing them with the tap water that I'm using to soaking. And here are the numbers. So for the recycled one, what I'm calling old here, the pH went from 7.5 at the first rinse to 7.66. The EC dropped from 622 to 448. So I must be washing out some minerals that are on it, maybe from the old fertilizer or whatever. But the new one that's never been used, same thing happened. The pH from 7.56 to went up to 7.65, and the EC dropped from 5.69 to 438. But if you compare the old with the new, I honestly don't see any huge differences. I mean, the first rinse 7.5 versus 7.56, and the last rinse 7.66 compared to 7.65 in pH. Well, those numbers are close to the tap water that I'm using, 7.63 and 3.91. So look at these numbers, study them, but the way I see them is that there's no difference in pH and EC between the old recycled Grodan and the brand new after 3 rinses, and they all seem to tend towards the tap water that you are using. They may have started with low pH, but then after the 3rd rinse, the pH and the EC is getting closer to the pH and EC of the tap water. So next is we're gonna seed both and then see after 15 days how many germinated, how well they did, how tall, how big the plants are, and that will be the ultimate test.